Hello my friends, first video for 2025. The new year has come 2 weeks ago. It's 16th, I think the 16th of January today. Still very much winter, of course, in Sweden. There's no thought about my riding a motorcycle right now since I don't have studded tires on it. And honestly, I wouldn't like to get my bike sprayed with all this shitty salt stuff on the road. When I came to the garage now and put the cover off, it was almost like the bike was saying, hey, what, is it already spring? Can we already go out for a ride? But I need to say, no, sorry, you will need to wait another 2 months approximately. But I recently had a question in Facebook in a 701 group about seat heights and modification of chassis. And I mentioned that I have on this bike the original Husqvarna KTM lowering kit installed. I bought the bike like this, and it was actually the reason why I bought this bike, because it had that kit already installed. It's not a cheap trick because it's different springs, both in the front and in the rear. Some small parts and stuff that need to be changed. The side stand, which is of course a shorter one. And then the labor to do that, if you can't do that yourself. And I have no idea how to take the suspension apart. Plus, taking the spring out with the load on it is not really so easy either. So if you let that do, I guess you end up with a bill like €1,000 at least, $1,000, something like that. So that was the one reason why when I saw this bike, was really interested to get specifically this one, because it is lowered. And now you might say, why lower a 701? Come on, it's enduro. Yep. Honestly, my problem is I'm 1.71 m tall. My legs are, I think, in proportion to my overall length, but that means that I'm buying my jeans in 30 inches. So I'm a bit of a short-legged guy, of course. And that's a huge difference if you have short legs or if you have long legs. And also the difference comes when you put luggage on the bike. I'm riding a lot of long trips on the weekends, weekend tours or week tours or multi-week tours with the bike. So I have additional weight on it. So just like I said, the bike is perfectly balanced now. I leaned it against a shelf in the rear, which you don't see in the picture, and secured it with a strap. It's perfectly upright, the handlebar is straight. It's the standard seat that comes with the bike, 2022 model. I think they give normally a seat height without the lowering kit, standard seat height of 93 centimeters. So let's take a look how the seat height is with this original seat and the lowering kit. I think I know what we can expect. I'll use that one here to get a perfect measurement. Approximately that here is where the lowest point of the seat is. I'm just balancing this one now here. Let's see if I can do that. And we get approximately, I can show you here, see that? 89, I would say this is 89.5 centimeters with the original seat. Let's put the comfort seat on and see what that one gives us. So this is now the so-called comfort seat sold by Husqvarna. I got that for a good price from the dealer with some discount because they had not discovered a certain defect on the bike, so I could negotiate some discount. And if I do the same thing here again, approximately in the same position here on the lowest position of the seat, I am again getting, surprise, 89.5, so there's not really a difference to it. The shape, I will show you some pictures soon. The shape is just slightly different but hardly visible. Maybe the foam is a little bit different, but yes, it is also like 89, 90, I would say 89.5 centimeters. So, as we have seen, there's no big difference between the standard and the comfort seat. So I'll show you only this with the standard seat now. So how does this look like if I need to get my feet down? If I would try to get both feet down at the same time, it looks like this. So it's really just, if I turn my foot, the tips of my toes, so that doesn't give me any stability there. As soon as I would get any leaning to the side, this wouldn't work. However, if I move my ass to the side a little bit, as you can see here, I can almost, or I can actually, if I need to, if I move all the way with my backside off the bike. Now I'm standing just with, like this, here you see it, with the one foot completely down. I will show you this in full size soon also. Normally I'm still having like my left buttock on the seat, and then that's how it looks like here on the right hand side. Let's see if you can see it in this perspective only. No, you can't, but normally I have my right foot here on the brake to hold the bike, and then I'm standing, I'm sitting with the right buttock basically on the seat, and my left foot is then almost flat down, and that gives me quite some nice stability. I can handle the bike quite well. I can move over if necessary. Need to do this quickly, of course, because that here with just the toes, tip of my toes, that doesn't make sense. So what you need to overcome if you're a new rider to high bikes, and there are plenty of videos about that, is that old belief that you need to have both feet down at the same time. This doesn't really work for this kind of enduro and off-road bikes. So that's how it looks like now again from the right hand side rear if I'm sitting with my ass on the middle of the bike, but as soon as I move a little bit to the right hand side, and now my left buttock basically is only on the seat, I can, as you see, yeah, I can flat, if I find the right position, I can flat foot, or I can have a very solid stand here and I can move around the bike. Again, normally I'm doing this to the other side. I keep the bike with the brake here on the right foot, and then I'm moving a little bit to the left, and then I get the left foot almost entirely down. So when editing the video yesterday evening, started editing it, I noticed that I didn't really show you a detailed comparison between the two seats. So I brought them both up to my living room. It's a bit warmer here and I got more light. So let's take a close look. If I do that, compare the standard seat here and the comfort seat, so-called comfort seat. On the first glimpse you don't see so many differences. The material is a little bit different, so that also lures the eye a little bit. But if I look closely, I can see that these edges here on the side are less steep on the standard seat compared to here on the comfort seat. So this means that the top here is of course a bit wider on the comfort seat compared to a little bit smaller, slimmer is I think the right word, slimmer on the standard seat. On the rear, the shape is approximately the same. It continues a little bit here, but of course the hole width on the base is always the same because that's determined by the width of the body of the bike. And here in the far back, anyway, I'm not sitting here, I'm sitting probably approximately around here. In that black area would almost already be my luggage, basically. But let's measure this. So if I take a piece of string here, and I got a ruler, and I measure approximately here where I'm normally sitting, I guess. Maybe a bit too far in the front, I don't know, but it's quite pronounced here. So from the bottom edge over the seat to the other bottom edge. So that gives me a length here of about 32.5 centimeters. And if I keep this length now and put it here, you already see almost that it's a bit of a different story here. If I measure here again, like this maybe, yeah, could be it. So we had 32, and we're around 30 on that one. So means the comfort seat is basically forcing your legs a little bit further apart, which of course means you will get your feet less well on the ground. So conclusion, if you are vertically challenged like I am, the better seat is probably the standard seat. And if I compare the foams, I think the comfort seat is a little bit softer. Hard to say, you would need to measure that somehow, but I think it's a little bit softer than that one. It's really a matter of preference. I have many years of cycling behind me, so I think I'm not that sensitive any longer on my backside. And my tip would also be wear some padded bicycle pants inside your riding gear, so that helps also. So maybe a bit softer here. Okay, back to the garage. So as we've seen, there's really no significant difference in the standard seat to the so-called comfort seat from Husqvarna. I don't feel any big difference either when riding on these. Maybe the comfort seat is in fact a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more compatible with my backside. What I would really like to have is a Seat Concepts seat, but if you buy them here in Europe, we are charging you 600 euros for that. That is quite a steep price. There is an importer, but I think it's simply too expensive for this piece of plastic. So if I would come to the US, I might... No, I shouldn't say that, because if I bring it with me, of course I need to pay taxes and stuff like that, so wouldn't probably make a big difference. Anyway, so my thoughts on lowering the bike. For everybody there is a certain limit. You can compensate for it if you're a short person like me, of course, with training your balance, training your clutch control, being aware how you stop and where you stop. How to set down one foot stable and not insist on putting both feet down. That doesn't really work, and there are plenty of videos in YouTube explaining that. I have a few there out too, I think, with the Africa Twin and with the 790R. It works if you get used to just getting one foot down sufficiently, but there is of course a limit for everything and everybody, and I think my limit is somewhere at 89-90 centimeters, depending on the width of the saddle of course and the weight of the bike. So when it comes to this sort of bike with a 93 centimeter seat height, it's simply out of my comfort zone, I have to admit. So I was very glad when I found that, specifically this bike with the 4 centimeter lowering kit already installed. Good, I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Think twice before you castrate your suspension. Maybe you don't really know it, don't really need it, I mean. If you really feel for it, then let it do by somebody who really understands what we are doing, because you might really mess up the suspension if you do it the wrong way. Yeah, it's going to take a few more weeks for me to go out riding again, but sure, spring is coming sometime. Snow has melted, but it's only mid-January, so I'm expecting more to come. So I'll get the bike back in the parking position, cover it again, and unfortunately let it sleep for a few more weeks. See you in spring. Bye!